welcome back to episode 4 of the Kilotrained podcast. On today's episode, we have Mark Weisman. Some of you might remember him as Weisman for Heisman. And today we talk about his mindset throughout high school and college athletics. And Mark will get into detail about how important it is to have a growth mindset. And then we get into talking about Mark's career in the NFL and what he did post-football with going into sales, and then how he transitioned into a collegiate strength coach for the Iowa football team, and also how he found CrossFit and what he's currently doing now.
Episode 4 is brought to you by Old 218 Tap. It's located only minutes south of Iowa City in Hills, Iowa. It's a hometown restaurant feel right outside of the city. Has some of the best tenderloins and burgers and beer in the area. Great daily lunch and dinner specials. You can follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Old 218 Tap.
Last minute for a cross-country meet. How'd they do, Micah?
Liberty High School boys got 10th place. They're ranked 10th, so they held their standing. And they had a runner-up individual, Ashlyn Keeney, in the ladies. But my old high school team won on the ladies' side by 1 point over my old teaching school.
Did you have some old glory day moments?
No.
No.
Did you ever run at state?
I did not.
Yeah, I could tell.
Thanks.
But yeah, so just want to let you guys know we're starting this at 8 p.m. to bring you guys some great content. We're on the warpath.
Yeah, on a Saturday night.
Full cup of coffee.
I also got to say we've been improving the podcast a lot. Episode 1, we're in the gym. It's echoing everywhere. Episode 1 and 2, we had no idea what we were doing with the headphones.
Mm-hmm.
Thought they were worthless.
We have the headphones plugged in properly, and we have the cord not in the output, but in the headphones line this time, so it's working right this time.
And then we got a stand for the iPhone.
Yeah,
so
we've invested $13 off Amazon for a iPhone stand.
yeah, invest back into the business.
Yep.
I also hit 100 curls before the podcast started.
Just to keep up with their guest.
Luke did say he was going to bring a band, but failed to bring the band. So now I'm the one that can't fill the sleeves.
And I'm wearing a pretty puffy sweatshirt, so I'm looking all right.
Thinking ahead.
I also, we've had a lot of people, and by that I mean like 1 or 2, as Micah would exaggerate.
I wouldn't leave out the 1 or 2 detail though.
Ask us about the origin of HEP, Austin.
HEP. HEP. So, HEP originated back in Cedar Falls, and it's kind of like a legendary myth. You know, I don't know who said it first.
No one knows.
Me, Luke, Jeremy, or Kyle Flickinger. But what HEP means is a state of success while on the warpath. So when you're training hard, hitting big lifts, you'll often hear us use that word in excitement and motivation, because it just means you're doing the right thing and you're getting it done the right way. And when it's written on paper or written on social media, you'll often see multiple P's. The more P's after the HE, the more powerful the HEP. Usually that can be described as in a very loud yell. So when you hear those loud HEPs in the gym, that's where it comes from.
Yup. HEP. Yes. That'll get us started into the episode. So, Mark, let's go ahead and get going. Why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and kind of how you got into football, I guess.
Sounds good. First, big fan of the podcast.
Thank you.
Excited to be on it. Honored to be on it. But grew up in a northwest suburb of Chicago, Buffalo Grove.
Okay.
Older brother. My mom's 5'2", my dad's 5'6", somehow.
Oh, wow. Those are worse stats than my parents.
Somehow I'm 5'11". I got pretty lucky there. I was like 5'7" in 8th grade, 7th grade. I was like, "Oh, you're done growing." I'm like, "Screw you guys, I'm not done growing."
Mindset.
That's what I said too, and I'm 5'8" now.
You're bigger than your brother?
Yeah, way bigger.
Way bigger.
Yeah, passed them all pretty quick there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Micah showed us the Big Ten journey video that you had, and it said you were 5'7", 145 as a freshman in high school.
Yeah, so freshman year, came in like 5'7", 130 pounds, and was more just like a speed guy type thing. Like, not that I was that fast, but more of a speed guy type thing. But like in the high school I played at, I really cared about the fullback. The fullback was the big deal there. Like the fullback got the ball all the time. Like not true triple option, but it was the fullback. Like the running backs were blocking for him. So I'm like, all right. I had a decent freshman year. Like didn't get called up. But the other kid, the other fullback who was on the team was a stud. He was
on your freshman team.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he got called. Yeah, and then he got called up.
Called up meaning to
To
varsity.
varsity like the last week of the season, and then for the playoffs. And he actually played a little bit too. And he was 6'2", 210, like stud already.
Freshman.
Wow.
He ended up playing lacrosse at Syracuse, a stud there. Like, yeah, one of the best players there. But
This is a big school too, right?
yeah, so Stevenson High School has about 4,400, 4,500 kids in it.
That's bigger than a school in Iowa.
Yeah, it's a big school.
Twice big.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In the largest class, I'm assuming, at Illinois.
Yes, 8A. Yeah, so there's
8A.
it goes up to 8 in Illinois.
So
Yeah,
very competitive class then.
Very competitive, yeah. Some of the best schools there, and like Catholic schools have a little bit different standard.
Don't they have to
So
bump up?
they're always bumped up. So like they're usually between the bigger ones that are 6, 7, and 8A. Even though they don't have as many kids, they still have to play up, and they still win state a lot of the times too. But yeah, so freshman year, so I just hit the weight room. I love basketball. I'm like, forget it, I'm done playing basketball. Football is what I love to do. So just hit the weights, had no idea what the heck I was doing. Went to an export because the only place that would allow like 14-year-olds to train at, or 14-year-olds to train at. Did like every machine, like would just go down the line. Hit every machine, had no idea what I was doing. And then got a trainer there who kind of taught me how to squat, taught me some things, and then ate everything in sight. And then I was starting sophomore year, I was probably 195, 200 pounds.
Wow.
So, and I got, and
Grew
then
a
that
little
summer,
bit height, I'm assuming as well.
oh
too.
yeah.
Okay.
And then that summer, my back was all screwed up and everything. Just putting that much weight on is not safe, and like, not training right is not safe. But then just continue to like learn more about it. My high school strength coach, who was an assistant coach, is good friends with the Iowa strength coach actually. So we were on like the developmental programs from there, which helped there. Went to like a private place too a little bit to try and compete with some other top athletes in the area. And then from there, sophomore year, started in sophomore at fullback. Every like 3 or 4 running backs got hurt on varsity. So like they're like, okay, we have to call them up. And you have to play. So I played a little bit there. Yeah, so I played, that was like game 3, and then I did pretty well, and then the kids were still hurt, so I kept playing, kept getting a little bit better, and kind of did well from there.
Awesome. And your parents were kind of hesitant about letting you play football, is that correct?
Oh yeah, my mom was like, no way. Me and my dad's like, oh, we're gonna go play catch or whatever, baseball. Yeah, we went straight to sign up for football. And then actually before the first year I was able to play, I broke my wrist like playing baseball. I'm like, see mom, like I got hurt playing baseball. I should be playing football. So yeah, definitely hesitant about that, and then really didn't have any scholarship offers, so decided like Air Force Academy and they actually do play the fullback. Serve the military was like a thing I kind of wanted to do with my life and everything, so I thought it was the right fit there. And so I decided to go to the Air Force Academy, and then went through boot camp, which went like as well as it can go. Like, but boot camp it's straightforward. It's military and just grinding every day. Like, you're gonna get yelled at. You can't do anything right. They're breaking you down to build you up, and like a lot of kids who are perfectionists don't like struggle with that. But like if you understand the aspect of it, you just gotta go every day. Like whatever they tell you to do, you do.
Were you always pretty mentally tough?
Somewhat, yeah. I kind of get that from my dad. My dad's kind of that way, and in his own way, through his work and everything. So he brought up that way, and he kind of taught me, like, you're never going to be perfect. No matter what, you can't be perfect. People are going to yell at you. It doesn't matter. You just keep moving forward, keep doing better. And that's kind of like the Jocko stuff that, like, we always talk about. Like, it's kind of it goes right along with that. And like, not that I didn't discover Jocko until like 3-4 years ago. So
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Did you have any family members that were in the military that kind of motivated that?
Yeah, my grandpa was in the military, served in the Army, and then he actually got his college paid for at Michigan State, got it paid for at Michigan State, became a podiatrist, and my dad kind of went in his footsteps. So it all started with the military with him. Without that, he's not going to college, he's not becoming a podiatrist. So,
So real quick, when you are going to the Air Force to play football, and then obviously you have to be a part of the soldier aspect of it too, going there to become an officer essentially when you go to the Air Force Academy. How does that work for the athletes then when you have to still go through the boot camp? I mean, is there any communication between like the coaching staff and like the training staff for the military? Like, hey, these are our guys that we, obviously that they have a job to do, but so does their coaching staff. What's the connection there? Like, how does that operation all go down with the players who are there in the military too?
well, especially with boot camp, like, there's no difference. It doesn't matter. And like, unfortunately, some of like the cadre, the upper class stuff, they run the boot camps, not the generals or colonels, whatever it may be, but it's the cadre. So it's the juniors, seniors of that actually run the boot camps. They don't like football players. A lot of athletes, so like the Air Force Academy, if you go there, I'm pretty sure any of the academies, you're either a recruited athlete or you do intramurals. Some sort of thing. Everyone's an athlete. Pretty much. Yeah, like to get into those academies, you can't just be your genius kid.
Sure.
You have to be athletic, have leadership skills along those lines too. But yeah, they don't love the football players that much. So like, I don't know. I think it's during boot camp, it's one of those things like you can either accept that or you can work really hard and show them like I'm here not just because of football, because I want to be part of this and be a part of everything. So you give it your all. So the coaches part of it, you see them like once. You have one day off in between, like the 6 weeks. So after 3 weeks, you get a day off, and like you see them then. That's about it though. So
Interesting.
you lose as a football player. You'll lose. Like I lost 25 pounds during boot camp. Yeah. So it is what it is. But then after your second year, after your first year, so the second summer, you have combat survival, so you put all that weight back on, and then you're out there and you have like 2 MREs, and then you have to get your own food. So you lose another 20 pounds. So until your junior year, pretty much, like you're not at your top at those academies. So you really have to like give it to those guys, like how hard it is on them to be able to do it. And those academies, like a lot of the time, they're competing with Michigans, and they're playing them well.
Yeah, it's
Army almost beat Michigan this year.
Yeah, it's surprising that like they're in Division I.
Yep.
When they're, that's definitely a disadvantage.
No doubt about it.
Is it mostly juniors and seniors that play then?
You'll see younger guys play too, but like it's more like a high school like that where like those guys are at their best at that time. Like, no one's leaving early.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to the NFL early.
Right.
So like, when you have juniors and seniors that have been together for that time, like playing at their best, like you might have a couple freshmen, sophomores that play, but yeah, typically older guys play there because they bring in, since technically you're not on scholarship because everyone who goes there gets paid. They'll bring in like 80 guys as a freshman, but those 80, not many of those guys end up like graduating. Probably 20 guys, 15 guys tops will end up graduating.
So then you were at the Air Force for...
So I was there for boot camp and then a semester.
Okay.
And then decided like, hey, like football, like I put all of my goals down, everything I wanted to do, and like football was still number one. And I was like, between football, military, and school, I couldn't be at my best, and I wasn't accepting that, and it was killing me. So I'm like, okay, I can either quit football here and stay here at this academy, or I can go try and play football somewhere. And at that time, like, that's all I wanted to do was play football. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go play football somewhere. And then somehow, some way, I begged my way to Iowa. Said I could try and walk on here and everything. So I was lucky enough to even get an opportunity though. So
Walk us through a little bit how that happened.
how the transfer part of it.
Yep.
So
And your decision to go to Iowa and just how that all transpired.
yeah, so I leave Air Force and then now I can be recruited again. There are a couple schools like Western Michigan was recruiting me, probably not going to offer me out of high school. No one's offering me now, so it's going to be a walk on wherever I go. So that was kind of like my okay, probably going to end up going there. I called Iowa as much as I could. Like I couldn't get the coach isn't here also. I couldn't get his number. Like he wouldn't give me his number. So I'd have to call like the girls at the front desk, like the students at the front desk, like, hey, is Coach Blank here? And then they'd have to go ask him, like, who knows if he's there or not. Like it took forever to even get on there.
Yeah.
And then my high school coach knew that coach, and then one of the assistants, like I said before, knew the strength coach there, and they saw a couple connections, and like, okay, you can come and we'll let you be on the team for a semester, and we'll see what happens from there. So, and then
Sorry, keep going.
yeah, so then it's just, I came there and just tried as hard as I could in the weight room, because that's all we had right away. We had spring ball too, but like, I was not going to be able to play that next year, because the rules back then, like when you transferred D1 to D1, you had to sit out a year. So just tried as hard as I could there, like improve every day in the weight room, like show like through the competitions that you're a competitor and like that I belong. So
Yeah,
like that's
prove
all I
yourself.
said. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a cool part about your story, like with high school and at Iowa, is that you were probably third string in high school, third, fourth string,
Yep.
and then how far back were you at Iowa?
So I came in as a fullback, and then I don't even know what fullback. Whatever the last fullback on the team was, I was that when I came in. Did well in the weight room, so like I actually got invited to camp. Like I thought there's no way. Like I can't play this year. I'm not going to go to camp. I'll be back starting day one of class, and then be on scout team and everything. But I actually went to camp, which was good to learn the offense and actually get some reps like with the developmental guys. And then did scout team and everything like that. Earned your way that way. Then the following spring, I'm still, I don't know, fifth, sixth fullback. After that, did pretty well with it. Like got better and better each day. Like it started off pretty bad and then got better and better. After that, I was like, third fullback after that, second, third fullback after that. Then going to camp. Starting fullback gets hurt in camp. And then it's between me and the older veteran type guy, and I did pretty well with it. So then I passed him up for it, and then the guy that got hurt's coming back, but slowly, so I'm doing really well with it. And then a bunch of running backs, whether, like, I don't know how much you guys followed like the team back then, but
Yeah, I remember
there was like 6 or 7 guys that either got kicked off the team or like were injured and then transferred somewhere else. So there were a ton of guys. So then we only have 4 or 5 running backs that can even play. 3 of them get hurt. So during camp, I'm doing fullback and running back, just trying to plug a hole with the running back. Like, I'm literally just going with the 2s and the 3s running back, just like, so we can like run a play.
Wow.
Because we don't have guys there. So like they don't want me to play running back. Like, no one wants me to play running back. Who's this white slow fullback? So we got out of camp and like I'm actually ended up starting at fullback. The kid the other fullback was coming back still, but they decided to start me there. And the first game is at against Northern Illinois at Soldier Field. And I grew up a Bears fan, so it was the coolest thing. It was like first game I ever played in the college at Soldier Field. It was awesome. We ended up winning that game too, like close game too. And like that's when Northern Illinois was really good. So, and then that year too. So same kind of things as high school. It's just like kind of story of my life. Just like take advantage of an opportunity, but we're playing Northern Iowa, and then one kid's sick, a running back, so we really only have 2 running backs that can really play that day. One of them goes down with a concussion first quarter. All right, like, I'm still not playing. And I'm playing fullback, but like, then other one separates his shoulder, and I prepared the whole week. Like I knew like it was a possibility I could be playing running back, so I know how to play. I know the game plan and everything. Like I always prepare. Like, you have to prepare. Like you're gonna play, yeah, because you owe that not even to yourself. You owe it to your teammates more than anything, right? Like you have to be ready to play for your teammates. So they're down, and like no one else knows how to play. It's not even like there's no option at this point. Like whether they want me to play or not, like I have to go in, I guess. so I go in there. It's like, hey, I just do everything I can, just run as hard as I can. Like I did decent. Like I missed so many holes that game though too. Like there should have been bigger touchdowns. Like there was one I remember. It should have been like a 40-yard touchdown. Like I got a 3-yard gain. So I was so nervous about it. But no, and it was fun. Like and then those guys were hurt again. So just keep playing and just try and take advantage of an opportunity. And I was so grateful for all the opportunities I've been given. It just you never know when it's coming.
How'd you stay at it when I'm sure there were moments when you're like, why am I even doing this? How'd you stay at it when you're 7th on the depth chart?
Yeah, I just think it's a belief in yourself that like you see other guys there and like like oh these guys are good too, but like I know I can be better than them. And it's got to be like a mindset. It's not an ego thing. It's more of a confidence thing too. Like there's a difference between like there's like an ego and then there's like imposter syndrome where you feel like you don't belong when you do belong, or an ego when you think you're way better than you are.
Yeah.
And you got to find that place in between. So I just think it's about like the process with it. And I don't know, like I love training too. So some people like will get caught up in it, like they hate the off season. Like I love training more than anything, like just almost as much as playing football. So I love the process of like continually getting better and gradually getting better. I just think like overcoming adversity just like from a younger age and like being taught that by my parents, like how to overcome adversity, how you're not going to be given anything. I think that mindset kind of went into it, but there are days too, like I'm not going to tell you everything's sunshine and rainbows. Like there are days like you do terrible in practice, right?
Yeah.
And like, why am I doing this? But then like you wake up the next day, like you talk with your buddies, like that's the thing about being on a team too, is like you're a part of something bigger than yourself. So when you're a part of something bigger than yourself, like you can like lean on those relationships that you have with your teammates.
Yeah.
I bet your teammates, really respected the fact that you were prepared for the game that you got called to play in, because I would bet most players, playing at that level who are behind 2 or 3, 4 or 5 guys in your case, don't prepare the way you did to play 2 positions. So I think, I would imagine, you got a lot more respect from your teammates after that UNI game. Wow, Mark, he showed up, he was ready to play, he came in and balled out, and I think they're very fortunate that you put in that effort to be prepared.
Yeah, I think it's such a different mindset that you have than a lot of kids do nowadays, where it's like, I don't come in and start within a year, it's like, all right, I gotta get out of here. Mm-hmm. Where you're trying to prove yourself and beat other guys, they're just like, I'm just gonna go win the starting spot somewhere else where I know I'm better than someone. Yeah. So take the easy route out, which is happening so much nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. With all like everyone wants instant gratification, right? It's like this now, right? And then that's how it is with social media and everything. Like, I can just post something on Facebook or Instagram and get some likes, make myself feel good about myself. Yep. Right? Especially but when things are going like tough, like that's not gonna make it better. And like transferring somewhere else, the problems that you had right then with your mindset are gonna be problems wherever you go. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Like the only thing that's gonna change is if you change your mindset. If you don't change your mindset, you're just gonna have a terrible mindset wherever you go, and then you're not gonna play there either, and you're gonna transfer again, or you're gonna quit.
And that goes beyond sports too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so after college, you got drafted, correct?
No, undrafted.
Undrafted,
so
okay.
Undrafted free agent with the Bengals.
And how did that differ from like Iowa?
So it's a business, and it really is. And they treated me well there and everything, and like the guys treat you well, but there's only going to be 53 guys then plus whatever the practice squad is. So there's a little distance to it too. So like in Iowa, like you're there. Unless like you do something wrong and you get kicked off, but like you're there and you're going to be there for 4 or 5 years. In NFL, you might be there for a day, you might be there for 10 years. Like who knows? But definitely more of a business. Guys have, like you have 21, 22-year-old guys coming out of college. Some don't have girlfriends, some don't have anything. And then you have 34-year-old guys who've been in the league, maybe been to some Pro Bowls, have 2 kids at this point. Like, it's such a difference between it. But I'm sure once you get to that 53, that's where that tight knit bonding more comes from. But at first, it's a little different there, and it's the same thing. It's an everyday thing there. Like you're fighting for your job there, and it is a job too. Like now you're trying. A lot of these guys, their main goal is money, and usually that won't last if that's your main goal, especially in the NFL for how brutal of a sport it is. But money is an issue with it. Like so, like you see guys holding out now and everything. And sometimes you can't blame them, but in college. Like, and all the guys come back, like, whenever we have honorary captains, like Marshall Leon, all these guys come back and they're like, there's nothing better than Kinnick.
Cool.
Nothing coming better, swarming with your brothers, coming out at Kinnick in college, because you've grown up with these guys, like, you hated your life freshman year with these guys, like, why am I here, why am I doing this, grinding through the off seasons, and then, like, you end up, like, seniors with some of these guys, and, like, that doesn't happen in too many things in life.
Yeah.
So it's such a cool opportunity to have.
I'm sure a lot of people are interested in what it's like being a college athlete, because all they see is the game day for the most part, or like now it's getting into a little more with the social media and behind the scenes. But could you run us through like a day of camp?
Yeah, definitely. So like camp is like August camp. We're staying in the Marriott, which is nice there. Like you have a roommate in the Marriott. You'll wake up, let's say 6 a.m., right? 6 a.m. Either we used to eat breakfast in Marriott. Now we have breakfast at the facility for the guys. But you'll eat breakfast. Gotta get food in you, whether you're hungry or not. You better get food and you better fuel for the day.
And do they teach you about nutrition, or is it just kind of?
Oh yeah, definitely. Right when you come in as freshmen, you get like a nutrition book, and like you go through everything you do. We do dietary analysis with the guys, so like 3-day dietary analysis. We'll go over that with them, like what's more expected of them. And then throughout the year, especially off season, we do tons of nutrition training with them. Each week we'll have like 3 to 4 slides on nutrition or other help, like self-development type stuff with the guys. So it's a big thing. And then we do body comp with them. We'll do skin dex with them. And if a guy's a little bit off, like he's gained some weight, so he might get it might increase a little bit, his body comp. But if he's off, like he's lost weight and his body comp's increased, we might hit another dietary analysis with the guys. So we try to stay on top of nutrition as much as we can with the guys, especially with football too. We're a weight gain team. We don't have too many guys that are trying to lose weight. Like in the NFL, you see that a lot, but here we're like more like, okay, we need to put weight on these guys. So how much can we get in? How much calories can we get in these guys? Mm-hmm. So we'll hit breakfast. After that, we'll go to the facility. You get your get our meetings in early in the morning. From there, most days we'll either hit a lift then too, like a meeting in a lift if it's that day, or it'll be a practice then, and then practice early on, a couple hour practice. After that, you weigh. So we weigh guys in, weigh them out. So for every pound of weight they lose, they either have to drink a bottle of water, bottle of Powerade after that. So like let's say after practice they're 4 or 5 down, they gotta drink that. Because then the next day we're gonna weigh them in again.
Yep.
Same thing. So it's a hydration type thing, because like if you're 2%, the chance of getting injured is so much. That's so much more of a risk if you're down. So like that's just not in football, for anyone in life. Like, it's so important to be hydrated with everything. So there we'll practice, weigh out after that. Guys typically get a couple hours, either get a nap in, get some studying in from film or whatever it may be. Come back, hit more meetings, and then now you can't have 2-a-days now. We did back then, but you can't have 2-a-days now. So now it's a walkthrough that they'll do, but it's a fast tempo walkthrough. It's like you're jogging a little bit with it. So they hit that, a little bit more meetings after that. So it's long days, like 8, 9 o'clock. So you're there tons of time.
Yeah.
Camp is like, that's football time though. Like you get excited for camp. It's a grind, but it's exciting. Like it's all you have.
Yeah.
Like
No
you
classes.
have football, no classes, nothing to worry about. You're staying in a hotel. You get driven. You're not allowed to drive anything. Like everything in life is taken care of.
Yeah.
So you just have to worry about playing football. And like,
How many weeks does that last?
that is usually 17 to like 21 days, around then, depending on when the game falls. If the game falls week 1 of class, I think of that this year it did, camp's a little bit longer in the hotel, but then sometimes it'll be week 2 of class. So then that first week of class is technically still camp, but you're not in the hotel because you have to go to class.
Yeah.
So, and it gets old, like staying in the hotel and everything, but when you don't have anything to worry about, like it's pretty cool too. Yeah. But then once you get done with camp, like it's nice too. Like then you're in the real world, you actually get to see other people.
Yeah.
So who are some of the people, I mean, who's responsible for doing these check-ins? Like, are these all the trainers that you have on staff that are doing the analysis of the players?
Yes, so the strength staff, we take care of that. We have an RD, registered dietitian, like that is a part of the athletic department, but not as much with football. It helps a little bit, but not much. We take care of most of it, like within the law of what we're allowed to actually do with the guys. But yeah, we take care of a lot of it. And right now, the guys have it so good. Like there's all this, like I know the likeness came out, which that doesn't even mean that's not gonna be for 2 or 3 years what came out. But the guys get a ton of stuff now. Like after 2015, 2016, whatever it was, wherever they were, we were able to start feeding the guys as many meals as we can. And like we have a refueling station where it's basically like a sub shop, convenience store. We have everything in there.
Take whatever they want.
Supplements,
right?
everything, like all the protein that they could want, bars, everything. Like you could eat 3 meals out of there if you want to, but they're also getting 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
So they do have it good now with the food and everything. So it's a good deal now, and like it's only going to get better. Like throughout the years, it will continue to get better. Like new rules will be made, and it'll all benefit the players.
Yeah, I think a cool topic to get into is that, you know, the first, how many years were you at Iowa before you started playing?
So I was there. So I got there a semester, and then another year until I played.
Okay. Yeah, so you're there for that long, and I'm sure like no one on campus really knew who you were, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, there's Mark Weisman. How did you deal with like sudden popularity like that?
I think I just don't like the limelight at all. Like it's awesome to have a helmet on, so like not as many people, like they still know what you look like. But like I pretend that they didn't. So like it's like, but like you know, like the helmet hides you a little bit, like the face and everything. So I don't like any sort of spotlight and everything. So like around campus, like I just like it was nothing new. Like you might see people like whispering,
Looking at you.
yeah. And like in class, like someone like turned around. I remember like some girls like, "Are you the running back?" I'm like, I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like, okay. So like yeah, you get noticed a little more, and like it's easy to let that go to your head.
Yeah.
But you have to tell yourself like, no one knew who you were last week. Like, what changed?
Exactly.
What changed? Nothing changed. Like, the mindset's still the same, right? You have to trust the process. You have to continue to get better, because if you don't get any better, you're going to get passed up because you went in because someone got injured. So if you don't want to give up your spot, you have to continue to get better. You have to be actually better than you were before if you want to prove that you can continue to play in this where no one thought that you were going to be able to. So I think you have to humble yourself in any way you can. And like I think that comes back to kind of how I was brought up and raised by my parents. Like you always give credit to everyone else because it is everyone else. Like if the offensive line is not very good, you're not going to be very good. Like your success relies, especially in football, it relies on everybody else.
Yeah, I think Iowa's culture has always kind of been like that too, where it's just more team oriented than letting someone kind of show off for themselves.
No doubt about it. Yeah, no doubt about it. We're all one with it, and like that, like wow me. Like you want individuals, and you want guys that have their own personalities, and which is a good thing. If everyone's the same, it's like a robot. Like you're not going to be a good team like that way either. But when it's game day and everything, you're all one. Like it's everyone's on the same page. Everyone looks the same, like in that sort of sense. Like everyone like is on it for Iowa, and like there's so many good stories of like Iowa players, like walk-ons in Iowa, and guys like next man in, we call it, like and who's ready. So like, it wasn't like it was the first time that's ever happened. It's Coach Ferentz gives us millions and millions of stories. Like if you're listening, you better be ready to go because like of all these guys in the past that have done it, and like your teammates don't care. Like they don't care that like you like just came in the game. they need you to play well and for the team. And that's what it is. That's why like the brotherhood of it and being part of something bigger than yourself, whether it's football or anything, like being part of something bigger than yourself, those relationships, like that's what us humans, like that's what we strive to do. That's what we want to do.
Going on that team unity aspect with Iowa, what was your biggest and most favorite memory with the Hawkeyes?
2013, so we're coming off 2012, like that was the year it was. Like we stunk. We were 4-8. Like we still should have had more wins probably, but we're 4-8 that year. 2013, like we gotta turn this around. Like we better turn this around, or no one's gonna be here. So we start out the year, have a tough loss against Northern Illinois that year. It was a good team. That's a really good team. I think they went to the Orange Bowl. That was the year that one of those years. But they were a good team. Like I remember after the year, like some of us leaders like were like, this isn't gonna happen. Like we played well, but like we're gonna turn this around. And like we kind of trust the process there. And like we're 4-4, I think. We had a couple tough losses like Ohio State, Wisconsin, Michigan State. So people are like, oh, here it goes again. Like they're not gonna do anything. Or 6-4, whatever it might be. And then like the last 2 games of the year, we have Michigan and Nebraska. And like Michigan's like the coldest game again. Like it was cold, but like we come out, like I think we throw a pick right away. Like we're down 7-0, then we're down 14. I think, oh crap. But we battled back in that game and like came out on top. Like Anthony Hitchens, who plays for Chiefs now, like, rips it out of the quarterback's hands. I can't remember who the quarterback was then, but like rips it out of his hands and finishes the game off. And then we go to Nebraska and haven't beaten Nebraska, and I don't know how long at that point, because we'd only played them a couple times. But before that, I don't know what the years were that we played them. And like we don't have that trophy and everything. It's a trophy game too. And then we go in there and kind of like take it to them and like kind of do what we want against those guys. And it was a pretty fun game. And like in that locker room after the game, there's nothing better. Like in general, like I don't know, like the feeling in a locker room after a win, like just with your teammates going crazy and like there's no better feeling. Like there's no worse feeling when you lose and then you have to get on a plane and go home, but there is no better feeling than being in a locker room after a game, because it's just like in football too, especially, and then in life too, like you put so much effort into everything. In football, you get 1 game a week. All these other sports, like you might have multiple games and you have to turn around fast. But like football, like you play 12 games in a year. There's 52 weeks, and like you have some off weeks. But like you're training and like practicing way more than you're playing.
Yeah.
So like when you put all that effort in, you actually get a win. There's nothing better than that in the locker room.
Yeah. So you go from being on a team, being a part of something, to not being on a team. How did you deal with that?
Oh, it was bad. Like it's just like it's way, like and you say I'll be fine. Like I know what I'm doing. Like once football's over, like I'll be okay and everything. Like then I took a job in medical sales in Iowa, and like I was kind of on my own. Like it was for distributorship who was in Kansas City, but I had like an Eastern Iowa territory. So I'm kind of by myself out here. Like I have friends out here still, guys on the team who haven't graduated yet. So I'm still in the Iowa City area, but I'm not part of the team.
Yep.
And like the job I have, I'm not really part of like a team there. Like it is, but like you talk to people, but you're not with them. And like you go to the hospitals and like you're in on surgeries, which is an awesome experience. Seeing those surgeries, but like they don't love you there either. Like you're a salesman to them. So like you're not part of their team. Is their nurses, the doctors, everyone that's part of that. That's their team, and like that's cool too for them. But so like it was like a tough experience, and like I'm doing this for all the wrong reasons. I'm doing this because like you can make decent money in this, and like you could have a steady paycheck. You can kind of set your own schedule. Like this is not what I want, and I'm not sure what I do want at that point. But I know I want to be part of a team again, be a part of something bigger than myself. And a lot of people in those jobs find that like feeling, but I didn't. And like I thought I needed to get away, so I got away from sports a little bit. Then I'm like, okay. I actually went to school like health and human phys. Like I wanted to be a strength coach.
Use it, yep.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I call up like the Iowa strength coach, Coach Doyle. I'm like, hey, like, can you talk? I just want to like bounce something off you. So I told him, like, hey, I want to get in strength and conditioning. How do I get in? And then he's like, well, you're going to have to intern somewhere. And, like, there's only a couple places I would, like, even trust sending you because, like, I like you, so, like, I want you to stay here. He's like, let me talk to Coach Ferentz. We'll see. He's like, I know you're not, like, a big party guy and all that stuff. I know you have friends on this team still that, like, you played with and everything, but I don't think it'll be a problem. I'll talk to Coach Ferentz. Like, yeah, that's fine. So, like, now I go, and then I go intern
At Iowa?
in Iowa. So summer of 2016, I interned there, and, like, that's another experience, like, humbling back, like, and you better be ready to, like, to come work, like, being an intern in however big our facility
Were you
is.
even getting paid?
Oh no, you don't get paid anything.
Yeah, it was just free.
You get paid, you get food. Like, now, like, it's better now, like, 'cause they
Yeah.
actually got food then.
Yeah.
But back in the day, like, it was way worse than what it was
Yeah.
for us. So, but it's a huge facility, and, like, we set it all up. Like, the coaches are in charge, like, telling you what to do, for all the setups, making sure everything's right, and, like, checking everything, and they help out. But, like, the interns set everything up. Like, we're there. If it's 6 a.m. lift, we're there 3:30, 3:45, getting ready to get to go.
Wow.
Like, if you had, I got, like, a Fitbit back then, like, you get, like, 50,000 steps in a day. It was crazy. So, like, it's just, but it's humbling to go back there. Like, you better be able to humble yourself. Like, who cares if you played here and, like, you had some sort of success? You start back at ground zero. So it's starting over from scratch. And, like, trying to work your way up there. And I think everything in life, like, you're always going to start over at some point with something, like, whether it's a new job, anywhere you go, for anybody, you're going to have to start over. And the quicker you can step back and learn from the smarter people that, like, are going to be your mentors and who are a little bit above you, and you can learn from them and you can humble yourself, I think everyone will be better off.
Yeah, so I think we probably have a couple health and human phys students at Iowa or that go to Kilo too, and then you and I has quite a few that go to Kilo up in Cedar
Yeah.
Falls. So, like, what are a couple pieces of advice that you'd have for them if they're looking to get into college strength and conditioning, like how to get their foot in the door?
Email as many people as you can. Email me, whatever, if you want to intern. Like, we're always looking for interns. Everyone's always looking for interns, right? So, and then what that leads to is, like, okay, now that's your foot in the door. Now what are you going to do with that? Because now you're competing against every intern that's there right then. Like, there's 4 or 5, and, like, you want to be friends with the interns. You don't want to be, like, cutthroat.
Yeah.
But you have to, like, how are you going to show that you're,
Separate
like,
yourself.
yeah, how can you separate yourself from them? Like, and that's work ethic. It's not how much you know in strength and conditioning. Like, if you could rattle off all of these, like, programs and scientific research, like, that's not what anyone wants to hear right then. Like, they want to see, like, are you willing to work? How hard are you willing to work at that point?
Yeah,
are you
because
willing
you guys
to do
are
it
putting
day in and day out? Because, like, it doesn't end when you're an intern. Like, you're putting in long days. Are they fun days? Yeah. You get to work with elite athletes every day. You have some off time. You get to train yourself during those days. Like, you have a ton of time too, but, like, they're long days. And, like, you never, like, it doesn't end after you're an intern. So it's like, can you come in each and every day and learn? So I'd say, like, the biggest thing is just, like, don't be afraid to ask. Like, email as many people as you can and ask for help, because everyone out there wants to help. For the most part, people want to help. People are just afraid to ask.
Yeah. I think a fun topic to get into would be what are some big things you think that should be improved in college strength and conditioning?
Oh, the biggest thing of all is, like, enough with this hooting, hollering, yelling on the sidelines, getting jacked up, like, punching people. Like, it's true enthusiasm and, like, getting people, like, motivated is different than smashing boards over each other and, like, the
Trying to
fans
get on
love it.
TV
Yeah, and the
and
fans
stuff.
love it, but, like, it sets back the industry of strength and conditioning so far, because, like, all these guys are just a bunch of meatheads. They just love lifting weights and smashing things. We love lifting weights, yeah, but, like, that's, like, but, like, there's so much to it, like, to actual strength and conditioning and with it. And I think the more people that are going to get certifications, like, you have to be certified now. Like, I think that's a huge thing that they've improved in the last however many years. That everyone needs certifications now, and like this, there's 2 different ones. One is just a test. It's not a bad test, NSCA one, but there's a CSCCA where you have to take a test. You have to go out to the conference. You have to make your own program and defend your program, and then teach a couple movements to coaches, like 2 strength coaches, like master strength coaches who've been in it for 15, 20 years.
Yeah, because one of the things I'm wondering about is you see all these videos of guys lifting incredible amounts of weights in the weight room, but they're moving with just awful technique.
Yeah.
Like, we get a lot of, like, CrossFit in general gets a lot of crap for people moving poorly. And we obviously take a lot of pride in how our people move and going through progressions and not going too fast. Do you think that a lot of teams just start ripping heavy weights way too quickly?
Yeah, definitely. And they either, whether they start too fast or they progress too fast. Like maybe they'll start out right, but then they progress too fast when a guy hasn't perfected a movement, right? Because all you're doing with that is you're adding strength to dysfunction,
Yep.
and that's just going to cause more dysfunction.
Yeah.
Whether that's like in the speed work, whether that's in the weight room, whatever it may be, there's a progression to everything, and you can't move on until you perfect that. And like that's why you have like corrective exercise. That's why you have like the pre-work, post-work, and everything. And like that's what I was so impressed right when I came in the gym with you, Austin, is that like with that first camp, like you taught everything, right? You taught all, like you taught the squat, you taught everything in detail, progressions to everything, and then you get to class, right? And like you're not thrown right into the fire. Like some people, like I was probably a little more advanced than a lot of people that came in who've had a background, but like you guys have regressions to everything. And like I'm sure most places don't do like, oh, just do a kip and pull.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure like that's how some of it is. But you guys have regressions and then progress people, and then little by little like they'll get better. And like there's nothing cooler than like getting like your first whatever. And like I'm sure people love like doing that. Like, I love that. So like, at first whatever it is, like it's so cool. But like, I was so impressed with how you guys did things, and like that's how it has to be done with everything. And that's not easy to do, especially in like a group type setting, but I think you guys do an unbelievable job with that.
So with your title of strength and conditioning at Iowa, when working with some of your athletes, are you guys giving them the program the week of so they know ahead of time what they're doing? Are the athletes walking in, you're walking them through warm-ups? Okay, here's our list today on the whiteboard. Like, what's that look like as an Iowa football player that's walking in and training with you guys?
Yep. So they don't, like we have a card, so we have a card system like in a file cabinet for them. They have, each guy has a card.
So it's
each week, 4-day card.
specific?
Yes.
Okay.
So whether it's like in season, it's a 2 or 3 day depending on how you play. But off season, let's say, it's a 4-day card that they'll have in there. We'll have the cards in there, like we have them all printed out. Like everyone's responsible for different things. Like each coach has like a different set of guys. Coach Doyle programs for everybody. Like we all have like a say in that. Like we'll like give our inputs, but he has final say in like the actual programs. And then it's one guy like will be like the team advanced guys. Like those are the older type guys. Like then there'll be the Devo 2 guys or transitional guys. Those are guys that have been in the program but aren't quite at like that level, who still need to get way stronger.
Yeah.
And then there's the Devo 1 guys who are like first day guys. Like these guys, like this is the basics of a program.
How many guys are you getting that are coming in that have no idea what they're doing?
So let's say we get 30 guys, there's probably 2 or 3 guys that have no idea. And then
About
there's
any
like
sort of
and
Like
then, yeah,
Olympic lifting, or what do you mean by no idea?
like
experience
no
with-
experience with
like, just
like
go
they
up
might
pure
know how to
talent.
squat, but they squat wrong. A lot of the times like you'll see like we'd rather have a guy that doesn't know how to Olympic lift, doesn't know how to squat or anything, and we can teach them, than guys that come from like a program where they just do everything and they do it wrong.
Yeah,
Like they
that's
don't
true.
squat to death. Their Olympic lifting's terrible. Like everything, like there's so much dysfunction with it, and we'll get some guys like that, but there's so much dysfunction that like we have to like take a step even farther back than a guy that hasn't had any experience. But like nowadays, we do get some guys like we'll probably get 5-6 guys that like have been part of a pretty decent high school strength program, so like they know what they're doing. Then we'll have the middle pack where like they've had a little exposure, but they're still only 18 years old, and like their ceiling is so high from there. So start with the basics and like we hammer home the basics. Like that's it. Like we probably go too slow, and like we don't. Like I just say that, but like you have to go slow. Yeah, you have to go slow with them, because like little by little they'll get better, and little by little and little by little. Like it's that same thing of instant gratification. Like if they can trust the process, and we trust the process, then they'll have a success within that strength program.
Yeah, we talked with Mac last week about his squat was not the greatest, and it's got stuck at like 315 for an entire year. Got hurt, took the time to regress, fix his squat, and then he got it up to like 345 a couple months ago, which is a pretty cool lesson.
Taking a step back, take 2 or 3 steps forward is always good. But yeah, I can remember when you came in for camp that one day, and you know, it's always a breath of fresh air when I'm coaching camp and we have somebody that has the experience that you've had, and even luckier for me, you coach a lot of that same stuff. And I remember there was maybe 1 or 2 other athletes, and when they can watch somebody who's got your kind of experience and knowledge move as I'm also trying to teach it is super helpful. And I remember getting you through there, and it was for me coaching. It was kind of like pressured a little bit. It's like, oh man, he's a strength and conditioning coach for Iowa. I want to make sure, you know, especially as, you know, part owner of CrossFit Kilo 2, we keep our reputation that we are proud of moving well and being good teachers of all the things CrossFit has to offer. And but it kind of helped me raise the bar with my delivery of the material that day, just having you there. And it's good because it keeps me sharp, keeps me disciplined when we have somebody that is already experienced with a lot of that stuff. And so that was definitely a fun day.
And I think it goes to show your character. Like you've been talking about being humble, and like we could get some guys that come in that think they know what they're doing and won't listen to anything we say. And it's pretty cool to see someone as experienced as you. And like, obviously you're an elite athlete, but being able to take advice and want advice is pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember you went into it just with a complete open mind. It was like you had a beginner's mindset, which I think is important for everybody to have. Like you mentioned earlier, you're always going to start over with different things. And even if you're, you know, it could be something that you're relearning, but if you go into it with a beginner's mindset, you might pick up something new that you haven't, you know, picked up before in the process, and that can, you know, be super valuable to you.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's a huge team player mindset. Real quickly, I guess, before we move topics, were you a part of that moment when, I probably got his name wrong, Tristan Wirfs, 400 and, you can correct me on it, was it 450 pound hang clean triple, or were you part of that there?
I was definitely part of it. Just I was a spectator.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about that proud moment?
Yeah, no, it's
that's definitely a viral video around the NCAA.
Yeah, no doubt, and it's a cool thing. Like we had that when I was playing. Brandon Scherf had the record. Like that record is never.
What was the record before?
It wasn't
so
that
that
long
was
ago.
let's say I think it was high fours. Worse now was 5s.
Oh wow!
Based off of no, he didn't hit that.
Okay.
But that's what his 1RM is based off of hitting it a triple. Yeah. So whatever it is now, whatever Scherf's was high 4s, so never getting broken. That record, you look at the record board, that's untouchable. No. So Tristan Wirfs is freaky athletic, unbelievable athlete, and trusts the process. It was worked really hard with his form, and his form still isn't completely there, which is beyond impressive that he can move that type of weight. But he is a one of a kind, not one of a kind, but he's one of those guys. If he wasn't gonna be an NFL lineman, because he will be, he could have been an Olympic shot putter. If he wasn't an Olympic shot putter, he could have been an Olympic weightlifter. He's just one of those guys. But an offensive lineman makes way more than those other two. So I think he's making the right decision. But in that environment, those days, we max out on those days, and you can see in the video, everyone's around.
Yeah, looks
the weight room. The weight room is huge, but it didn't matter how big it was. Yeah. Everyone was right there, watching that, and it's just such a cool environment to do that. And you see some of those environments, and you see guys with terrible form. Mm-hmm. Looks like they're gonna break their back. That's not what you're looking for. You want a great environment, but you also don't want guys getting hurt. Yeah. Because when it's all said and done, we're reducing the risk of injury.
Yep.
and then trying to enhance their performance. But what comes first? Like reducing the risk of injury on the
making sure
field.
they're on the field.
Yeah, because that's all that matters. Like
Yeah.
he can hang clean 450 pounds, 500 pounds, but if he's a terrible football player, like that's not what we're looking for.
Yeah.
We want to make him a better football player, and how can we do that? And it takes everything. It takes all the speed work, all the corrective work, the strength work, conditioning, like everything. It all fits into a grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is kind of what we experience, all of us experience at Friday Night Lights. Like obviously on a smaller scale, but it's
Yep.
pretty cool getting the whole community involved. So if you are listening, make sure you come next Friday.
You'll definitely get more out of your performance.
Yes.
And I can,
Guaranteed.
personal story, let's see, we had, so clean and jerks were a part of 20.4, and Micah, Luke, and I all got to the 315 bar. Luke finished the workout, hit five clean and jerks at 315, which was his
One rep.
one rep max that he hit.
Yeah.
And at the CrossFit Games this previous summer, and so to pull that out 5 times, you know, within what was it, probably a 4-minute window that you had,
Yeah.
is
Attempted is 6.
insane.
Unicorn day.
And, oh, for sure. And then I hit 3 out of the 5 reps doing a power clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
I was behind him, just like,
So
I'm letting him go.
the story is the day before, I was making up a lift from earlier in the week of just a squat clean and jerk. And, you know, in theory, you can typically squat clean more than you can power clean. And I was struggling to stand up a 275 pound squat clean the next day in the open environment, 315. Where did that come from?
Powered it under
So,
fatigue.
Yeah.
yeah,
Same thing on Wednesday. I missed a 280 pound clean jerk, and that workout came out the next night. I'm like, oh crap! I thought there was no
I
way.
just completely have given up on lifting in general, and I stood up a pretty clean 315. But there's something to be
Yeah,
said,
no,
and
there
I'm
is.
sure you can attest to this. Is there's a little bit of magic that happens when you have the right environment involved.
No, environment is such an important thing. Environment, just like community in general. Like
Yeah.
it's so cool being part of that too.
You
Just the
definitely
fact
get
that
that at, you know, games too. Like, I mean, you hear about it a lot. Basketball player, oh, they've never dunked before, and then in a game they get their first dunk.
Yep.
And I think, you know, for our listeners, when you relate that to your training, it's important to think that your training max isn't necessarily your competition PR, and not to work off that. So, you know, if you like take Luke for example, when he hit his 1 rep PR at a clean and jerk at the CrossFit Games, that's as big of a stage as you're going to get on for a CrossFitter. And coming back to train, it's like, okay, you know, I'm looking at my max. We have 5 sets of 2 or whatever we have that we're trying to train off of. Luke might have adjusted those percentages a little bit.
Well, and then the same thing happened. Was it 2 years ago or 2 years ago at the doubles comp? I had that 265 snatch.
265 snatch, yeah.
Next week I'm working off 250.
Exactly.
There is no way I'm in these percentages.
So, Mark, after you got through camp, what was your initial experience with the first couple of classes of CrossFit? What did you think? And then obviously you've made it to this point, which it's been, how long now have you been a part of Kilo 2?
So what is it?
It's been
3 months now?
Summer at least.
Yeah,
at
so
least
it's
3
the
months.
summer, so
And
3
why
summers.
did you come to the gym?
And how'd you hear about it?
So now, okay, so what was the first question?
So
No, so the
let's
first,
slow this down.
I got
Slow
this,
down.
I got it.
We'll
So-
start with Micah's question. How did you hear about this?
So I literally I looked up CrossFit gyms.
Good old fashioned
Around-
Google search.
Literally
All
Google
right.
search. And
Yes.
then we had one of the interns who had heard, because I had mentioned it to him too, and one of the interns we had, he'd heard like, oh, CrossFit Kilo, like I think that's like the one of the better ones. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay. So I ride my fat wheel bike down with the motor,
battery pack.
with the lithium ion
It was like
battery. I'm like, can I park this in here real quick? So I just come in there and I see Austin. I'm like, hey, like, I think I want to like maybe join this place. Or like, what do we do? Like, what's the next steps with this? Like, I know you guys like have a camp like that's today, and how do we go about this? So, kind of just did it. Why I did it? So I was doing powerlifting, and powerlifting's fine, but like, I went to like a competition and like, it was terrible. Like I enjoyed like it that day, but I'm like, I don't like this. Like, I only have so many weekends in my life. Like, I don't want to just like waste it on just hanging around here, like to do 9 lifts, right? With a bunch of people like who are not like don't have like the same mindset that I like want to have, like no athletic mindset. And then you see some of these people like some maybe like beyond like meathead type stuff, and like some people are just like, hey, I'm just gonna come out and lift some weights. It's like it wasn't like the environment that like, okay, so like I'd rather train like powerlifting than actually go to a competition with it. So after that, like I did start doing like more like football like training like I was before, but like I was kind of doing it by myself, and like that's not that fun either with that. So I did some Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So I'm like, okay, like Jocko talked about it all the time. So I did a little Brazilian jiu-jitsu, hurt my knee a little bit, like smashed, like I have a bad big toe, like smashed it up during that stuff too. So like I was out for a little bit with that, and then decided like I like this, but like these classes are like they're like 8 at night, and I go to bed. So like this doesn't fit my schedule. Like, I really enjoyed it. Like, this doesn't fit my schedule. So I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? And then like I know I've always like I did some CrossFit type like workout type stuff, but like never like actual CrossFit stuff. Just like a Metcon here or there, like with an assault bike or burpees or like pulse, whatever it might be. So I'm like, yeah, but I really enjoyed it. Like I enjoy like pushing myself to the limits in that sort of way. And I'm like, okay, like I haven't Olympic lifted in forever. My upper body mobility is so bad. Like I think I want to do this. So like I'm like, all right. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do some CrossFit. I'm gonna look it up. I like look up some of the stuff. I'm like, all right, I can improve this stuff like little by little. Like I'm not gonna come in. Like I'm gonna be humbled by everybody here. Like there's a couple things that I might be good at, but I'm gonna be bad at so much stuff. But I kind of like that. Like with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu stuff too, and then this like just getting out of your comfort zone and it's like it says something about just starting over again. And I think that's a really cool thing. It's like if you have like the fixed versus growth mindset. Like if you have a fixed mindset, if you think you're gonna be bad, you're gonna be bad, and you're never gonna be able to improve. But if you have that growth mindset, you're gonna be able to improve because you can. Like you can absolutely improve, whether it's day by day, week by week, year by year. If you're continuing down that path of doing those little daily disciplines over and over and over again, you're gonna get better. So I'm like, okay, I think I want to do this. So then goes into your question also, like the first couple days like there, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go as hard as I can with some of this stuff. I remember
we all heard about that workout.
The one of them was the one we did. What was it? The 12 thrusters.
It was a noon class that one day, right?
It was
I remember that
12
class.
thrusters,
Yeah, some
pull-ups, and kettlebell, sumo kettlebell.
Deadlifts. Yeah, kettlebell sumo deadlifts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like I was
he kept
just
up with you, right?
I was trying.
Was it
first
20
workout.
minutes?
Oh yeah.
It was
But,
a
like,
20-minute AMRAP or something.
Yeah. And I was just trying as hard as I can, and I wanted to kill I wanted to die. So I was so tired.
Pretty sore the next morning.
Oh, beyond, like my quads were beyond belief.
I remember doing that workout with Mark now, and I was excited to train with him because I'm like, okay, I can't wait to see what this guy's got, how he's gonna attack this workout. And as a little bit of a veteran of CrossFit now, I kind of could look at the workout, break it down to my pace of how I was gonna get after it. And so I was moseying along through the workout, going round by round, and Mark he's doing the thrusters unbroken, I'm breaking them up. He's doing the pull-ups unbroken, I'm breaking them up. I'm like, this guy is really pushing the pace. And it was amazing that we practically tied that workout.
You were definitely ahead, but
I just remember thinking, wow, this guy's already killing it. Like, I can't wait for him to just keep training. And it was a fun workout, and definitely respected the effort you put in.
I do think there is something to say about what you said with getting after it on your first time, because we do have people that have always been coming for what have been open 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do become experienced, it's very easy, like you said, to look at a workout and be like, all right, this is what I can do. Versus you're like, I don't know what I can do. Let's just go after it.
Floor it.
So yeah, exactly. I think there's some times where people get in the rut of always saying, all right, this is what I can do. And then they keep the same pace and they push at the end a little bit. And they always do 5 pull-ups, 5 pull-ups, 5 pull-ups to get 15 instead of going 8, 4, 3 and pushing for that extra threshold to get better. So I think if you are listening and you go to CrossFit Kilo 2 or any other gym, it's super important to try to push yourself beyond what limits you think you have. Even if your time's slower, who cares? Like half the people don't even write. Like we got 5 people that write their time on the board anyway, so it doesn't matter anyway. But like having a slower time, but going for a bigger set on something, or going for a little bit more weight than normal, even if it's just 5 pounds, it's something to think about and consider to continue to improve in the gym.
Absolutely. And start with something that you're confident with. I mean, it could be something as simple as running. If we have a mile incorporated into a workout, and I usually run a mile in about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if you got 7:45 in you today, and then you can start to add in those movements that may require a little bit more skill. But yeah, that's a great point, Luke.
How have you improved so far with CrossFit? Endurance, strength, or is there anything that you've seen, you woke up and be like, my God, I look better, or I'm stronger, or I improved in this lift, whatever? Can you elaborate
everything.
a little bit on that?
Everything, I think, especially within the CrossFit, I've improved pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Especially upper body mobility. I literally couldn't overhead squat.
Okay.
I couldn't overhead squat. I hadn't overhead squatted since college, and we just did it with the PVC pipe to test it, and I had surgery after I had my shoulder, right after between going there and trying in the NFL, and I couldn't overhead squat even with the PVC pipe. With anything, I couldn't overhead squat day one, and now it's it still stinks, but I can put some weight on there. I couldn't drop under on a snatch really, and I can do a little bit now, and little by little, especially with that overhead position, it's just getting better.
Cool.
And that's good because, I mean, like you said, I've gotten better with everything, and that's what we want to have happen with our clients, and what any CrossFit gym should want to have happen with their clients. Yeah, some things will stick out, and in your case, it's perhaps your thoracic spine and your overhead mobility. And what's good is you're staying disciplined not to try to rush those things, because you're not going to flip a switch and wake up the next day and I can do a squat jerk like Cam or somebody in the gym. It's a waiting game. You just have to be patient and chip away at it. But it's good that you're noticing gains in all aspects of your fitness.
Yeah,
so that's cool to hear about.
Absolutely.
How's it been with the Iowa strength staff that you started CrossFit now?
No, it's good. They I think they're jealous. I do. No, but I think a little bit some of the stuff they're always asking me what I'm doing, and how's it going there? What'd you do at the box today? Everything. So they don't particularly. I don't think they want to do some of the stuff that along those lines. I'll ask them hey, this is not the competitor one. I'm gonna do it by myself. You want to do it with me? And they're no, because I'll tell them what it is. No, I don't want to do that. But no, they're good about it and everything, and they understand why I'm going there, because
that's cool
to be part of a community.
Do you work out on the side?
I do. I'll do some of the competitor stuff, or I'll hit some strength stuff myself, or
At Iowa.
yeah,
Cool.
Or some speed work there. We have the fields that we can use and everything, which is awesome.
Cool.
It's good that there's you're creating some dialogue with your colleagues at the university, and just kind of hey bouncing back ideas perhaps from our training, and at the end of the day, that's what it all is anyway. We're all training for something. CrossFit, since it became mainstream 10 years ago, is still a baby in comparisons to college strength and conditioning. And so getting through some of these growing pains with CrossFit in particular, and just creating some dialogue between the two cultures, I think is going to continue to get stronger, especially as more and more CrossFit gyms do good jobs of delivering good material, good instruction, helping their clients with good education, with the fitness side of it, with nutrition side of it, because that's what you guys are doing over at Iowa. What was cool to hear is you guys are putting just as much effort, it sounds like, with tracking your athletes' nutrition and making sure, hey, they're staying hydrated, they're staying fueled, because that's important. And you know, when you detach and look at it from above, hey, CrossFit, they're doing the same thing, maybe a little bit different way, but you know, when you break it down, it's a lot of the same stuff.
Yep,
We're all
definitely.
training.
Exactly. Like, how can you fill all the buckets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it all adds up. Like sleep, nutrition, how hard you work, how hard you recover, everything that you do. Like, it all adds up. And if one of them is missing, then there's gonna be a hole in your life, probably, like in that bucket, like whatever it may be. So it all goes together.
Yeah, I feel like it used to be where CrossFit kind of was like, all right, this is the best way to do it for everything. This is what you need to do. And now it's finally just starting to open up where it's like, all right, physical therapists are starting to come in, chiropractors are starting to come in, respect prehab. Like, we've really incorporated that in the last year or so, I would say. And then post-workout as well. And then like speed and agility, like shoot, CrossFit
Hardly
ever does it.
You never hear about, but we've
never
been
really does.
incorporated into some of our classes here, and people love it. And
Yeah.
you know, it's just another way to train.
Yep.
And I mean, call it what you want. It's fitness training. You're exercising, and whether it's for football, for tennis, for swimming, you know, for health.
Yep.
You know, it's all good for the body.
How's your open experience been so far?
Good.
You like
Good. Yeah. It's I love being part of the Friday Night Lights. You guys are talking about, like, where awesome things happen.
Yeah.
Like, I try not to be in the stuff with you guys so I can watch. Like, you guys. No, I want to watch like the best guys go. I don't want to be going at the same time because I want to see like what it's like how you guys are attacking each workout and everything. Cause I'm just trying to have fun with it. Like, there's a lot of stuff I can't do, and there's the stuff I can do I don't do that well. So, but I'm just trying as hard as I
Did
can.
you get
with
through
it
the
and having fun.
225 bar last night?
225 I did, and then I tried to jerk the 275 for like one. I rested.
So
for
you
it.
got to the 275
I got to
bar.
275.
That's a good accomplishment.
Yeah.
And then got the clean up, and then
Power
tried to
clean?
jerk it. Yeah.
Yeah, because you did 30 pistols then?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
We're 60, right? Yeah.
60 leading up.
Oh,
yeah,
that'd be
yeah,
good.
60.
Yeah.
Dang.
And then I tried. It would have been a PR jerk, but it wasn't happening.
Well, I've been there, man.
But,
My shoulders were the same
yeah.
way when I started. My goodness. Oh, man.
But no, it's cool. Just getting your first of everything though.
Yeah.
Like, also just taught me like the ring muscle ups.
Have you got those yet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Have you really?
And like, it's just it's
Some-
like the
some's
first
coming
one
next
is like
week.
the coolest thing is like whenever you get that first thing of anything, it's so cool, and then like,
It's like
okay,
riding a bike.
now I gotta try and get better at these.
Did that come pretty natural?
Oh,
the ring
not
muscle up, or?
the ring muscle up, not as bad as some of the other stuff.
Okay.
Like the handstand stuff is still like the hardest stuff for me. I still can handstand walk, like handstand push up is still like beyond belief hard.
Yeah.
But like the ring muscle up was, I just didn't like really know what I was doing with it. Like I could do a bar. I think bar muscle ups are like harder, right? Like yeah, but like or
depends on-
yeah.
yeah,
Like I was
depends
able
on
to do
the
a bar
person,
muscle up first, but that's just because like I did it a couple times. Like I was just like someone was like decided to do it.
Have you lost some weight yet through CrossFit? Like,
Yeah,
you
so
want- I know you want to.
I've lost probably like 6-7 pounds probably through it, and I was gonna try and lose more, but then I didn't realize the open was coming up. I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't be cutting that many calories probably
Yeah.
while we're doing these types of workouts.
Yeah, competition
Yeah.
style, yeah.
So, but after this, I probably want to get down to like 205, probably a good weight
Why is that a goal of yours?
to be there. Just I think it will help so much with the gymnastics
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
type stuff.
And also
It's
maybe
good for you.
general health as well too.
Yeah, definitely.
Good for your
Definitely.
shoulders for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, just being able, especially running too. Like everything goes along with it. Like,
What's the top weight you've hit, especially back in the dog days of Eaton and being a fullback, running back at Iowa?
at Iowa, I was 238, 240, fullback, and then like towards the end, and then when I was trying to play in the league, I was like 248, 250. So I was beefy.
Is that a pretty standard weight?
Fullbacks, yeah.
NCAA running backs?
Running
I'm not
backs,
sure.
oh no, running backs, you could be from 195 pounds, like speed guy, to like the 230, 235.
Okay.
It depends what you are. Like Le'Veon Bell was like 240 in college, and then lost the 20 pounds, and then was like the best running back in the NFL. So
Yeah.
he probably was a little heavy for what it is. Like there's a thing to like the running back's a different position. You have to be able to take a beating, but the less hits you take and the more people you can miss, the better off you're gonna be.
So there's a little caveat to that. Were you able to keep speed while weighing 240? Like, how did that?
I think that
Because I've seen some of the videos on YouTube. You plowed people, so obviously there's an advantage and disadvantage. What are your thoughts on that?
my game was more or less like I was never that
Okay.
that fast. So I had some speed, otherwise you can't be a college football player at all. But my greatest attribute was never going to be speed itself. So it was more beneficial for me to be a little bit bigger, to be able to take more hits and break some tackles that way. But if you have like a 215-pound running back who can run like a 4.40, right? You don't want to put 15 more pounds on him, and now he runs a 4.6, right? Because like that's gonna be detrimental to his game right there. So that's not what you want with some of those guys. So like, it's a give and take. Like, what are their attributes? How can we make their strengths stronger, and how can we make their weaknesses a little bit better?
I think it's probably about time we could wrap it up. We had a few questions from that Instagram post I made. So they asked, what was your favorite stadium to play in, besides Kinnick, obviously?
Ohio State. Yeah, this year it was unreal.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's a cool.
What was
place.
your least favorite for
Least-
Big Ten? I guess.
Oh, Northwestern, hands down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Evanston at 11 a.m.
Just
There's nothing
dead.
more dead. I mean, they had bigger high school crowds. And don't get me wrong, Northwestern plays hard. They're a good team,
Yeah.
but their environment is terrible.
Yeah. Probably leads the opposing team into like a little bit. Of
No, it
slower
is. It's an advantage
training.
in their own way. But like, yeah, because the problem is that everyone like who lives in that area probably went to a different Big Ten university.
Yeah, for
Most
sure.
people don't go to Northwestern.
Yeah. And then I'm sure people will be interested in like what's a day of eating look like for you, just real quick.
So depending on when I train, like if I train in the morning, I'll eat before. Like I don't want to train on an empty stomach. But if I'm training in the afternoon, I'll try and intermittent fast or time restrict, eat just a little bit. So I probably won't eat right when I wake up. Have some coffee though. I'll have some coffee then. We'll train some of the guys. I'll probably eat 2 hours before. So like let's say I'm training at 12.
Yeah.
That day I'll probably eat at like 10. I'll have a bowl of oatmeal then, and then like a piece of fruit or whatever it is before I train. Shake after that. Have a good meal in me, and then like that's probably pretty much it. Like I'll have a big meal then though too.
So what types of food you want to go like through specifically?
Yeah,
I guess?
definitely, absolutely. So like, I try around the workouts. I'll always try and have carbs, protein.
Yeah.
Carbs and protein around the workouts. You don't want fat too much then too. It slows the digestion down of it, and then not too much fiber with it. Post workout, carbs, protein, like to build muscle, help you recover.
What type of
everything it
carbs?
is. Depends. I'm more of a fruit guy, like a shake. So like I'm a shake or oatmeal, whatever it may be along those lines. Like I try not to eat like people like say you can have like any kind of carb after fast acting. Like you do want faster acting, but like fruit is fast enough. Like for me, like that's high enough glycemic for me
Yeah.
to be able to have that. So I'll usually throw it in a shake. Like I'll throw like water, protein, fruit, like frozen fruit, and then maybe some oats in there too, just like to get a little more calories in it.
So what's the dinner look like for you then?
So dinner will be 75% vegetables. So like whether that's like broccoli,
Wow.
spinach, whatever, maybe tons of vegetables, peppers, everything.
Do you know what
And
those
then-
are, Micah?
I actually eat a lot of vegetables.
Marcus pizza doesn't
yeah.
count.
Or ice cream.
Actually,
Vegetables on top of the pizza.
I've had
right?
ice cream twice a week, but I haven't had pizza in
Ice cream twice a week?
Oh yeah.
a scoop. I'm not dishing
Whoa.
a banana split at night.
There is no way you're having one
Yep.
scoop.
Yep. Confirm it with my wife.
That's discipline
But don't.
equals freedom right there.
One of the things that Micah's gonna exaggerate on.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Send us a pic next time.
No.
Yeah.
Post it.
Exaggerating.
Post it. I want to see the one scoop.
Oh wait, what? Remember when we were talking about the protein that Micah went through. What was it? He had like.
It was P10, and I said that
Yeah.
it wasn't protein, but
Yes, your
Is that pre-workout?
my calibrated measurements in my head were a
Yeah,
little bit
said-
off from
you
how much
said-
I actually took, but whatever.
Okay, you said you had 2 scoops a day for 2 weeks, which would be 28 servings. And I'm like, Micah, there's only 20 servings in the tub.
And the thing was 3/4 full.
Yeah. He brings to the gym and it's full.
Austin or
Oh man.
Oh
they're
man.
always
I'm
skeptical.
just gonna assume that's how the ice cream works too.
It's not. I don't even have ice cream right now.
All right, Mark, that's where we're gonna wrap it up. So thank you for coming on the podcast. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was a great podcast.
It was.
Yeah, thanks guys. That was awesome. Honored to be on it. I don't know if I can listen to this one though. Like, I hate listening to my own voice.
I don't know if I've listened to any of them. So.
Hey, make sure you tell our viewers where they can follow you at and your handle and all that stuff if they want to.
He's very active on Instagram.
Yeah, it's
so.
very, very little. I don't even know what the handle is on Instagram. I don't know
It's
the last
where
time I posted.
We'll tag him.
Oh.
And then make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube and subscribe on iTunes if that's how you listen. And follow us on Instagram at Kilotrained Podcast. We'll always update you on the latest news of our episodes. And you guys can let us know what you think and if there's anything you guys want to hear as well. Thanks.
Episode 4 is brought to you by Old 218 Tap. It's located only minutes south of Iowa City in Hills, Iowa. It's a hometown restaurant feel right outside of the city. Has some of the best tenderloins and burgers and beer in the area. Great daily lunch and dinner specials. You can follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Old 218 Tap.